Cowboys pick is in. Everybody
Another Pleasant Grove, yep.
feeling pretty good about Revel here as the possibility.
If it is Revel, that's a first-round grade. So that's Nick, is he a first-round grade on your board?
He's a third for me. I don't think I like him as much as you guys do.
So that's still...
I think he's going to be... I think he could be a good player.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of risk here.
Here's the selection.
There's a lot
Travis
of risk.
Frederick going to the podium to announce it at 76.
What a beautiful night out here in Green Bay, huh? All right. With the 76th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys select Shavon Revel Jr., defensive back from East Carolina.
We talked about
Love this selection.
Draft,
If
and
it
now
wasn't
he
for the injury, this may have been one of the top corners in this NFL draft. Tore the ACL early in the season, clearing. Looking forward to having him back on the field early. Your cornerback room just got a ton of help and a ton of value at pick 76.
Size, length, can run, plays the ball in the air, gets picks, ball skills, great man coverage, physical, press cover guy. Like he's a first round grade for a lot of people. I got him as a really high second. Just looking at my board, definitely top 15 or so guy. This is slam dunk to get him at this value, 76 overall. Getting a guy that can come in, assuming that he's healthy, and we're just gonna knock on some wood or some glass or marble, whatever this is. If he and let's say Diggs is healthy and Bland is here, that is a hell of a trio. Assuming that all these guys come together and play for you, man. This guy's Teflon. Whether it's zone, whether it's man, smart player, IQ player. Played at ECU, so you may be worried about competition there, but, man, cut on Michigan film and get back to me, man. Yeah. Beat the hell out of all those guys, man. This is a slam dunk pick.
Yeah, this is the guy who kind of fits the mold of what the Cowboys like at corner, too. Those taller, lengthy guys with those long arms. He's exactly what they're looking for. And the fact that you get him here at 76 when in so many mocks, even some of my own, I've got him going at 44.
Yeah,
I've got him in the second round, and you're getting him down here. And I think the biggest part about all this is the Cowboys doctor, Dan Cooper, performed his surgery. They've got better intel than anybody about the health status of this guy. So if they feel comfortable taking him here at 76, I think that kind of, Nick, you said it was a risky pick, and I would agree given the injury history and what ACLs can do to corners. But if Dr. Cooper's giving them a report that says, hey, I feel like this guy's going to come in and play really well at a high level for you like we saw on film at East Carolina, then you got to feel good about where you're getting him, especially.
76 overall is worth the risk, though.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I agree.
100%. I'd taken the risk at 44. Calvin Watkins has reported that team officials said that he should be good to go by July after his ACL surgery.
Training camp.
So, I mean, that's fantastic. I mean, he was a two-way star in high school, playing both corner and wide receiver, and you see that translate with the way he plays, in my opinion.
I just want to throw one caveat into that. The same Dr. Dan Cooper did do the surgery on Jonathan Brooks. This is no discredit to Dr. Dan Cooper, but the info that they were getting during the draft process that a lot of teams were getting was that he was going to be ready by training camp. He didn't come back till October, so that's one thing to factor in. But the injury did happen to Revel in late September last year. It was not a drastic injury. Whenever it happened, it was a clean tear, and he was able to recover from it. You just hope he's ready in time for camp because he's definitely going to need that time at camp. Yeah. But honestly, one of the better stories in this class. You talk about character guys. I think just looking at his story, I think you'll see where the character could be coming from. When he was in high school, he got in a really bad car accident, fractured his skull, fractured his jaw, knocked out a couple of teeth, and it was a traumatizing time for him. And then he also had a season-ending broken collarbone the very next year. No star recruit. He had to go the JUCO route, fought his way, worked at an Amazon warehouse while doing so, and then ended up getting a scholarship at East Carolina and balled out in the one season that he had at East Carolina. And then he had a couple of games this past year before getting hurt. But the reason I am probably not as high on Revel as the rest of you guys, there's a lot of risk involved here. And I even put in my notes, I was like, he's the most physically gifted DB in this class, but just the 1 year of starting experience, that will increase the need for development. He's already 24. The medicals are going to be huge, but you hope he's ready to go medically, A, and then you hope he's ready for the jump in competition, B. If he could pass both of those tests, and if you told me he could pass both of those tests on Wednesday, I probably would have had him as CB3. I mean, he's that talented. Yeah. It's just there's a lot of risk involved here. There is
risk, and I think if you look at the player and you look at the film, when I was watching him, I saw shades, maybe not the same level of player, but I saw shades of Sauce Gardner. And Sauce Gardner played in the American Conference as well. It's a little bit of a different conference at that point in time as ECU is playing in currently. But when you look at really the way that he has the physicality, the way he steps up in the wingspan, the way he jams at the line of scrimmage, jump balls and the leverage that he has there, great ball skills, good hips, footwork. He's fluid all the way, and he plays downhill. What did Brian Schottenheimer say in the pre-draft press conference? I asked him the question, what do you look for in the cornerback position? He said, we want to see length, we want to see athleticism, we want to see fluidity, but not just that. We also want to see a guy that's going to come downhill and tackle, come downhill and be physical. Revel does that, and I think it's something that as long as he's healthy and the risk pays off there, you've got yourself a steal at 76 overall. All right. With all that being said, let's catch you up just a little bit because another pick did fly off the board. It was Princely Umamielen, the edge rusher from Ole Miss. I know, Vach, you had an eye on him early, and then we gotta get Brian back in here to hear what he thinks about the Shavon Revel pick as well.
Brian thinks great things just like the rest of us.
I'm sure he probably does.
That's a home run pick.
Yeah.
I'll say this real quick too. In Revel, you know, we talk about the Cowboys liking their taller, longer arm corners. Matt Eberflus has liked it too. And you look at, this is not a player comp by any means. I'm just looking straight at size and build. At Jalen Johnson in Chicago, 6 foot 195, 31.5-inch arms. Revel is 2 inches taller, a pound lighter, and his arms are about an inch and so bigger. I can't do math, so I can't move fourth to eighth or half to eighth. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's been
I'm a journalism major.
Yeah, mistakes happen.
This is why I'm a journalism major. So, you've got a bigger framed guy there in that sense in Revel from a physical standpoint. Again, that's not a player comparison. I'm not saying this guy's Jalen Johnson. I'm just talking about strictly from the build.
Yeah, look, the dude's a freak. Athletically, it's unbelievable. The tape is incredible. The play temperament he's with, he doesn't shy away from contact whatsoever. I think he does an excellent job of reading wide receivers, and he's able to track based on their eyes where the ball's going to go to make a play. Runs well. He's just sticky in coverage. I'm a fan of his. I guess the injury stuff, I just see him very differently, Nick. I don't know. Maybe you got more background than I do. This is a guy I think you'd have considered taking at 12 if it weren't for the injury. That's just the talent that's there with him. To get him at 76, I don't know that there's a ton of risk involved in the third round here with the talent.
I just worry about the injury. And corners, I feel like, are the most difficult to come back from a torn ACL or a hip injury, and that's why Benjamin Morrison was a little for me as well. But if it works out and he comes back clean and he comes back 100%, this is going to end up looking like a really strong pick. But we got to have the conversation now. We expect them to be done for night 2. No running back, no receiver, no defensive tackle. Boy,